You are listening to the Central Indiana Sports Report, episode 194.2.2, the Hamilton Heights Huskies boys basketball postseason preview with head coach Chad Ballenger.
You're listening to the Central Indiana Sports Report with your host, Greg Mengelt.
It has quietly been quite a good year for the Hamilton Heights Huskies, coming off a less than stellar 10-14 season last year. Heights is 14-8 this year. And I said it was a little bit quiet because it started off with a 4-5 start after the first round of the tournament at Switzerland County. Since then, however, Hamilton Heights is 10-3 and finished the regular season with 3 straight wins. It was about the time that they won at Lapel on January 17th and won at Tipton on January 31st. That it started to look like this team might be a sectional contender. Two-time reigning regional champion Delta probably has to be considered the favorite in the sectional, especially by virtue of the fact that they drew a first-round bye and should win the semifinal on Friday at 6 o'clock. That will be followed by Newcastle against either 14-8 Hamilton Heights or 9-14 Connorsville. Hamilton Heights will be significantly favored in that game, but certainly not a guarantee. With a win, the Huskies would play Newcastle. Heights won 74-66 at Newcastle on December 6th. Of course, that was a long time ago and doesn't mean much now, but if anything, Hamilton Heights has had an upward trend while Newcastle has not. However, again, Newcastle's at home, no guarantee there. Hamilton Heights has won 4 sectional championships in program history, the last one 10 years ago. Since winning that sectional in 2015, Hamilton Heights has made the championship game 3 times, including in 2021 when they came up just short at Newcastle in a 51-49 loss. Please stay tuned for Hamilton Heights head coach Chad Ballenger.
You're listening to the Central Indiana Sports Report with your host, Greg Mengelt.
I am joined by Hamilton Heights head coach Chad Ballenger here to talk about the Huskies and the Newcastle sectional field. Get to play at one of the best gyms in America. Coach, let's start there. You get to play your sectional at one of the best gyms in America.
Oh man, it's a great place to play. I've got some great memories there. When I was in elementary and middle school, our high school team, Hagerstown, that was our sectional. So back in the day, I got to see the great Steve Alford playing through high school and see those packed houses. And I've been fortunate to be a part of it, be a coach in some packed houses there too. So it's, as you said, it's a great time of year. It's the best time of year. It's exciting. It's nerve wracking. But hey, we've done the work and we're ready to go.
Played really well down the stretch. Really, 3 losses in the second half of the season, and all 3 to stellar teams. I think Lebanon's kind of been overlooked in that part of the state, but that is a really good team as well. And really, your team looks like it's playing very well here late in the season.
We have. I'm really pleased. We played really well. We've done a lot of good things. We've played good defense. We've scored the ball. We've had other kids step up. It's not been just one guy. It's been really fun. They've been working hard. The Lebanon game, like you mentioned, we had a horrible first half, but we competed and came back and gave ourselves a shot. So that was the one time we really didn't play very well, but couldn't ask for any more. Kids have done the work and been very coachable, and it's been a fun year.
Absolutely. It's been fun covering your team. Coach, what can you tell me about Connorsville and what should your fans expect from them?
Well, they're scrappy, and they've just competed against everybody. They're coming in, at 9 wins, but man, they've been right there. They just have moments where they can't score, they fall apart, but then they scrap right back into it and make it a game. So Well, let's just hope they can't get over that hump tomorrow. They've got pretty good guard play. They've never been able to score a lot of points, and that's kind of been their, um, the reason they can't get over the hump a lot. They've just not been able to score a lot. So I hope our defense can take some things away from them tomorrow night, and then we can score. But they can shoot. I mean, they can get streaky and hit. They led Northeastern. I got to watch them live last week, and they led most of the first half against a really good 22-1 Northeastern team. So they're capable. If we don't come in locked in and ready, they can beat us. I think we've got to be able to press them, speed them up a little bit, and get them into some traps. I got a feeling I think they're going to zone us, so we're going to have to hit some shots and still attack and get it to the paint and not just rely on that 3-point shot. But good scrappy team that's got a good history on their side. They're going to have a good crowd, and I just hope we can carry over that momentum that we've had down the stretch. I will say our Saturday sectional practice is one of the best practices I've been a part of as a head coach. I mean, they were just locked in, and man, we got after it, and it was exciting. So let's hope that carries over. But they are high school kids, and tomorrow's a new day, and we'll see what happens.
And anybody paying attention would say that you're the favorite in this game. But like you said, Connorsville doesn't have a great record, but that is not at all an incompetent team. They've played well against some good teams, some good programs, beaten some pretty good programs, and that is a proud, proud program.
Yes,
The
and Coach
one of
McCall has
Indiana's
won
best,
600 games.
right?
Coach McCall has won 600 games for a reason, and he's had tournament success. So we got to be ready.
How how hungry are Hamilton Heights fans for another sectional championship, and do you think you're capable of bringing it to them?
I do. I mean, obviously, it's been a while. We've been so close, as we talked about earlier. Just we've been right there, and we can't get over the hump in those sectional finals. But God, we're hungry. As I've said, I think our kids, can taste it. But as we were talking, we're all 0-0. Records don't matter right now. Your body of work doesn't matter. Everything's best of one, and doesn't matter who you're playing. And I told our kids before we left tonight, I said, tomorrow night, after our game or after, on our way home, we're going to look up and there's going to be some really good teams sitting at home. There's going to be
That's
upsets.
right.
That's what makes the Indiana basketball so special. I said, we just got to take care of business, and you can't, scores don't matter. I said, during the year we get caught up in defensive averages and points and, all these goals. But I said, at the end of the night, starting now, we need to win by 1 point. And that's all that matters is survive and advance and move on, and don't get caught up and get selfish about points and things like that. Just get caught up in doing our job and doing the right things, and we'll be just fine.
The great thing about Indiana basketball, besides obviously the passion for it and the crowds, which is unique across the country, is um, the fact that even teams that are average have kids that are capable of shooting themselves into games. And so for you to win this sectional, you're going to have to go through a team that has nothing to lose and is upset minded. Then you would have to beat the host and then likely a two-time reigning regional champions. So it's a tough road.
It is tough. And, I've said it. We kind of talked about it with our kids a little bit. Connorsville plays in that same style of gym. Not quite as big, but they're
Mm,
used to shooting with the roll in baskets and the seating behind it and the open air gym, And so coming in, it's not going to be any different for them. But for us, it is a little different. We have played there quite a bit over the years, but it still is a different atmosphere. So, I just Connersville's got a little bit of edge, I think, on that coming in and playing in the same gym that they play in every day.
I'd never thought of it that way, but it is a definitely unique perspective in high school basketball. There's really no gym like it with the background that it has. It's not an easy one to get used to.
No, it's hard. It's hard to get used to it. So, I'm glad we get to play there, every other year plus our tournament. So I think our kids have been in it enough. I actually do this on off years. Like we played at Newcastle this year, so we could not go there and practice on the sectional. and Coach Olam at Muncie Central's a friend of mine, and I got a hold of him, and he
It's a
let us
good
come
one.
in there, and we practiced at the Muncie Fieldhouse on Saturday. So we had rolling
Ooh,
buckets, and we had seating behind the baskets.
nice.
Plus, it was just a different environment. We got to take our kids out to eat and get out of town. So, just something a little different to get them out of our gym. But we had a great day.
That's a great place as well. Coach, you think back to November 27th at Noblesville, the first game of the season to now. What's been a reason or two that your team has gone from 500 the first half of the season to playing really well in the second half of the season?
We've competed, but we started believing in ourselves. The first game, I really don't think our kids really believed what they could do. We didn't have a real great showing against Noblesville. Noblesville has a lot to do with that. They're a very good basketball team, but our kids really bought in once we just kept going. We kept practicing hard. Roles were defined. Kids accepted it. Early on, they weren't really that defined, but kids really grasped on and just accepted stuff. Reese Knapp's a great example. Just didn't shoot the ball very well earlier in the year. He was like 21% after our first 4 games, I think. He's up to like 42%. Just kept coming in, putting extra time in, working that little kink out, and but believing in himself.
And you
And
knew he could. You knew he could.
oh,
You know,
100%. We knew we could, but it's a new year, and it's like I said, high school kids. Sometimes they got a little doubt, and things can change really quickly. So it's about staying positive and fixing little kinks like that. But we just stayed the course and had a great second half. We were Lapel's last loss. That was a great win for us. That was at Lapel. We had a nice big lead at Tipton, and we gave it all up, but we still
nice win
found
at
a way to
Tipton. Yeah,
win. I
at
mean, that's
Tipton.
great. Anytime you can win at Tipton. So we've done some good stuff. And then even on games of, you're supposed to win, but we did it the right way. We didn't get selfish and we just went out and defended. I mean, we beat Twin Lakes, just defended so well. And they're like a 14, 15 game winner.
Right.
So we've just done some good things down the stretch against some pretty solid teams.
Thank you so much to Coach Ballenger for joining the Central Indiana Sports Report and talking to our listeners about his team once again. And thank you for listening. Please go subscribe to our YouTube channel. And it would really help us out a lot if you'd tell your friends and family about the Central Indiana Sports Report. Central Indiana Sports Report is a product of ITG Media. I love Susie.